Hey, Summit Church. I hope all of you guys are doing well and having a great weekend so far. I know there's a lot of stuff up in the air and a lot of talk going on. And so today I wanted to just take a little bit of time and kind of just communicate to you how we're approaching the whole COVID-19 virus that is seemingly affecting the entire world. And so I just want to kind of give you an idea about our approach to it. So first, let me say that God is good and He's always faithful. He hears and answers our prayers, and we're praying for all those around the world who've been affected by the coronavirus. We're praying that God will stop the spread of this virus and that He'll give peace to neutralize the fear that seems to be creating panic in many circles. We, the elder team here at Summit Church, have discussed this, and we want to take a prayerful, faith-based approach that's seasoned with wisdom. I want to be clear what I mean when I say fear and panic. I'm referring to people who are overreacting to the virus, fearing the worst and creating and inciting panic. I'm not referring to the request by the CDC and the other organizations in our federal, state, and local governments that create and implement our emergency response to pandemics. The closure of many things is an attempt to do something referred to as social distancing. It's to show the spread of the virus, slow it down so that the medical community can manage care better instead of being overwhelmed by it. It gives some time for solutions to be developed. Church, we need to be wise and use precautions. We need to pray that the coronavirus will cease and desist. We need to have faith and not panic over the virus or the economy. God is our source and He will supply. We also need to not embrace fear, but pray against fear. Proper action is necessary. Overreaction is not. Let's help one another. Pray for our government and the world's governments to get a handle on this. We need to pray for the economy across the board to stabilize. Please be looking out for one another, especially for our elderly and those whose health is compromised. Make sure they have all the supplies that they need. Most importantly, trust God. Set your faith on Him. Remember that the large majority of people who get this recover quickly, and it's not life-threatening unless you're older or your health is already compromised. So here's some things that we all need to consider. Wash your hands the way that the CDC recommends. Use soap and warm water frequently for at least 20 seconds per wash. Use hand sanitizer. And when you don't have soap and water available to you, this is the best thing to do. When you cough, cough into your elbow. Thoroughly clean commonly used surfaces. Train yourself not to touch your face or your mouth. Now, these are some natural and individual things that we can do. Spiritually and collectively, we need to pray. We need to gather in the appropriate ways. We will be gathering on Sunday and every Sunday following, and we're asking for your own safety and the safety of others that you'll follow the following precautions. And obviously, this is your choice, but we believe it's best for all. Due to the fact that the virus has a greater impact on you the older you are, and especially if your immune system is compromised in any way, we invite you to join us for church online. We'll explain how you can do this a little later. We also invite the following to join us for online worship as well. If you're sick, especially upper respiratory illness, stay home and worship with us online. We thank God for the technology to do this. For those who'll be worshiping with us at the Summit Church facility on Sunday mornings, there are certain things we want to be diligent about. Number one, we'll have hand sanitizer available at church, at every entrance and in the bathroom facilities. Two, we'll add chairs, more chairs, so that people can spread out and have room in between one another for social distancing. Number three, and this will be the most difficult thing for our church, but it's absolutely necessary, we're encouraging people not to shake hands or hug at this time. Now, you can stay connected by joining us for live streamed morning prayer, praying specifically about this issue for the next indefinite period of time. And please stay connected by giving your tithes and offerings. Let's not let the devil win. Whether you come to church in person or you attend church via live stream, let's remain obedient to God and walk in faith by continuing to give and serve. I want to also encourage all of us to minister to those around us. We need to be watching out for each other and all of our neighbors, especially our older neighbors. Let's not be the people who live in fear or incite fear through behaviors that are inappropriate. Don't hoard supplies without thinking, what about the fixed income folks, the single moms that each week go to get the supplies and find the shelves empty because of an overreaction, or the older folks who are retired and living on a fixed income? Lastly, we'll not be canceling Watoto or other services, but do encourage wisdom and use of technology if necessary. We want to have faith, be wise, and honor our health officials and authorities as we walk through this together. I want to remind you of a few scriptures to set your faith on. Psalms chapter 91, verse 5 through 7 says, "You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you." Psalms 91, 10 and 11 says, "No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways." Luke chapter 12, verse 25 through 26, "Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest?" John chapter 14, verse 27 says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. Do not be afraid." John chapter 16, verse 33 says, "I've told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, because I have overcome the world." 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7 says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a soundness of mind." We're working on having the ability to have online church through Facebook, which we already currently do, but also adding YouTube and Twitter, so all of those platforms will be covered. I'm asking that every one of us as believers do not disengage, but instead engage our faith and lead in faith in our community. As A.W. Tozer said, "A scared world needs a fearless church." Let us rise to the occasion and shine the light of faith in Jesus Christ, our Redeemer, Healer, and Deliverer. We love you, Summit Church, and I know that what the devil means for evil on this world, God will use for good. So be here Sunday if it's appropriate. After all of that, Watoto will be here, and we're expecting God to move. God bless you. Thank you so much for being a part.